Hello class, good afternoon. So today let's talk about understanding factors and multiples. So when you say factors are any two numbers to get a product, while multiple is any number that is a product of that number and a counting number. Here are the examples of factors and multiples. Next is let's proceed to factors. When we say factors, any number that you multiply to get a certain number. For example, factors of 30. Now, think of a number of two numbers and when you multiply it, the answer is 30. 2 times 15, the answer is 30. 3 times 10, the answer is 30. And 5 times 6, the answer is 13. So meaning to say, these numbers are factors of 30. And we can identify whether a number is a factor of a given number by dividing it. For example, 30 divided by 15, the answer is 2. If you divide a certain number to 30 and there is no remainder, we can say that the given number is a factor of 30. Next is multiple. Is any number that is a product of that number and a counting number. So I will repeat, multiple is any number that is a product of that number and counting number. So this is numbers and the counting number. So when we get the multiples of 4, so 4 times 1, 4 times 2, 4 times 3, 4 times 4. So if we multiply or get the product of these expressions, 4, 8, 12, 16. So these are the multiples of 4. 4, 8, 12, 16. And one thing more to identify whether a number is a multiple of a given number. For example, 36. Is 36 a multiple of 4? How can you identify whether a given number is a multiple of that number? So, simply divide 36 divided by 4. The answer is 9. If this is an exact divisor or dividend of that number and there is no remainder, we can say that 36 is a fact or a multiple of 4. So since there is no remainder, we can say that 36 is a multiple of 4. Let's talk about divisibility rules. One way of identifying whether a number is a multiple or a factor of a given number is using divisibility rules. So let's start with 2. If and only if the ones digit is 2, 4, 6, 8. So it means if the last digit of a given number is 2 or is 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, it is divisible by 2. So since 240 ends with 0, it means this is divisible by 2. Next, 164. Since the ones digit or the last digit of 164 is 4, it means that 164 is divisible by 2. So that is the divisibility rule for 2. Next is divisibility by 3. If and only if the digit sum of the number is divisible by 3. Example, 138. So 1 plus 3 plus 8, the answer is 12. So let's see if this is divisible by 3. By dividing 3, 12 divided by 3, the answer is 4. So meaning to say, 138 is divisible by 3 since when you divide the sum of each digit to 3, there is exact quotient or there's no remainder. Next is 63. 6 plus 3, the answer is 9. When you divide it to 3, the answer is 3. There is no remainder, so we can say that 63 is divisible by 3. So next is divisible by 5. If and only if the ones digit of the number is either 0 or 5, or the last digit of a number is either 0 or 5. 1,500. Since the ones digit or the last digit of 1,500 is 0, so we can say that this is divisible by 5. And next is 245. So since the ones digit or the last digit of 245 is 5, then we can say that this is divisible by 5. So that is the divisibility rule for 5. So here is the question. Is 3 a factor of 126? So we will use the divisibility rule for 3 in answering this question. So 1 plus 2 plus 6, the answer is 9. It means that 126 is divisible by 3. So we can say that 3 is a factor of 126. And one thing more, 126 divided by 3, the answer is 42. So again, 3 is a factor of 126 because there is exact quotient or there is no remainder. And aside from that, 3 and 42 or 126 is a multiple of 3 and 42 because when you multiply 3 times 42, the answer is 126. 3 is a factor of 126. 42 also is a factor of 126. 3 is a multiple, or 126 is a multiple of 3 because when you multiply 3 to a given number which is 42, the answer is 26. And 42 is a multiple of, and 126 is a multiple of 43 because when you multiply a given number to 42, the answer is 126. So the first question is the first number is a factor of the second number? So this one is a factor of 36. So how can we say that 6 is a factor of 36? So just think of a number that when you multiply, the answer is 36. 6 times 6, the answer is 36. So we can say that 6 is a factor of 36. One way is by dividing 36 divided by 6, the answer is 6. Since there is exact quotient or no remainder, we can say that 6 is a factor of 36. Another example, 8 and 24. So think of a number that when you multiply, the answer is 24. So 8 times 3, the answer is 24. So we can say that 8 is a factor of 24. Next is by dividing. So 24 divided by 8, the answer is 3. So it means that 8 is a factor of 24 because there is no remainder or it has exact quotient. The third example is 7 and 15. Is 7 a factor of 15? So think of a number that when you multiply to 7, the answer is 15. So is there any number? None. So let's try to divide 15 divided by 7. The answer is 2, remainder 1. So since there is a remainder, if you will divide 15 to 7, so we can say that 7 is not a factor of 15. So here is another question. Is the first number a multiple of the second number? So meaning to say, is 44 a multiple of 4? So how can we know if 44 is a multiple of 4? So simply, we can just divide. So 44 divided by 4, the answer is 11. So it means that 44 is a multiple of 4. And one way is, think of a number that when you multiply to 4, the answer is 44. So 4 times 11, the answer is 44. So 44 is a multiple of 4 because when you multiply it to a given number or to a counting number, the answer is 44. So next example is 81 and 9. So another way to determine 81 divided by 9, the answer is 9. So we can say that 81 is a multiple of 9. So 9 times 9, the answer is 81. So 81 is a multiple of 9. So next example is 75 and 20. Is 75 a multiple of 20? So let's divide. 75 divided by 20, the answer is 3, remainder 15. So you can see that there is excess value or there is a remainder. So we can say that 75 is not a multiple of 20. So you cannot think of any number that when you multiply to 20, the answer is 75. That's why it's not a multiple of 20. For your activity, answer practice A and B on page 154 to 155. Take a clear photo of your answer, send it via private message, deadline October 20. That's all for today. Goodbye.